Just done 2. It's not that easy to plan out all the tanks, and I'm busy. It's fun project, and it's really great at getting a lot of new fans for your beer, and making friends. I've done. I don't know.
How much does that cost for people interested?
It's usually the whole project usually is both times has been around 70,000 krona for that. That includes like a beer tour here and then a tasting at Cardinal. Usually a Cardinal tasting is 15,000–20,000 krona of that price. So that's already done, and then you still have to do the brewing and the beer and bottling and pay for the beer. That's usually around 50,000 krona.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. A lot of people that work here now are starting to like sour beers.
Yeah.
But I doubt Lambic. You know. I really doubt that we'll do a Lambic. If I do a sour beer, it would be a Flemish brown.
Yeah, I watched on your blog you had a fruit explosion with a framboise.
Yeah, that's right.
How did that turn out?
Not good.
Not good. Not at all.
Vinegar.
Yeah.
Like raspberry vinegar.
Oh.
It got acetic, you know, that got too much air into it. So.
Yeah.
But there was a moment it was tasting really good. But I couldn't get it out, and you know the acetic acid that got into it kind of destroyed all the flavor and started turning it into how you make vinegar. So. Yes.
Were you a part of that?
Yes.
How did that go out?
It was fun. It was a crazy. Every time I got Mikkel's recipes back then, I was pretty crazy. This guy, you know, because his recipes were more specialty malts than base malts sometimes, and this one just happened to, you know, you conventional wisdom in brewing, you're never supposed to go over 20% sugar additions in your fermentable, you know, ratio. So this was more than 50%. So I thought we were looking at something that's going to be hideous, but you know, and he brought his own special yeast in from some other brewery, and it was what it was. I can't remember much more about it.
Cool.
But it didn't have any of these horrible sugar off flavors that you weren't warned about when you go over 20%. So. I did some with Klaus Meyer, this chef. We made a beer. We didn't use hops. We used burning nettle to bitter, and I used we used a couple other plants in it, like a fresh picked Huleblomst.
Cool.
But lots of it, like 40 kilos and 3,000 liters of fresh. And I made the guy who picked it, he had to take all the green part out. So I only wanted the very heads of it.
Yeah.
So there was some people picking at 40 kilos of it. Must have spent 2 days doing it. And then some others. You wanted a plant that, if you eat it, a leaf that it gives it like a spicy flavor like watercress does, but it was local growing. It's only local, like Scandinavian growing items you wanted in this beer.
Cool.
That was pretty crazy. I did a 16% alcohol one in Italy with champagne yeast. And that was, at the time, one of the strongest beers on Right Beer. It was around the time Utopias was. It was like Worldwide Stout was like the strongest beer. Yeah. You know, 25%. And I did that, and any other crazy beers? I tried to make a saison, like an IPA one time. Like an American style, like American IPA / saison. Wasn't that great? Oh, one time. Okay, then another thing I did that was really crazy was I drove from Denmark to Mainburg in Germany, where they grow hops, and I arranged it with a farmer. And so I got there Saturday. On Sunday morning, I went and met the farmer, and he was picking hops and separating the hop cones from the vine and sending them to a dryer, and then baling them up. But I wanted freshly picked, undried hops, so I can do a wet hop beer. Because in America they do this during harvest time, and they fly the hops all around, because you have to use them within a day. Yeah. From the time you pick them it's already like, you know, like you bite into an apple, right?
Yeah.
They're heating up. If you're storing them in a pile, the middle of the pile is going to start degrading and it makes heat, so they can actually catch on fire, they say. But I mean, you're losing the flavor and you're ruining the flavor, so you don't have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in the morning, met the farmer, gave me a tour, and I bought 60 kilos of on-dried hops.
Wet hops.
Well, yeah, which wasn't enough, obviously, but it looked like it was a huge amount. Filled up the whole back of a
truck.
No, what's the car? Passat.
Oh.
Had a Passat. He gave me one of these bale bags, and it has all the hops just filled up, like car smell great. Anyways, we got on the road and we drove straight back to the brewery. It took me. We left around 11 in the afternoon, and I was back around 11 at night.
Yep.
To the brewery, and I called ahead to one of my colleagues. It was on a Sunday. I said, "Can you go and heat the mash water up and get 500 kilograms of malt milled and stuff?" So I'm coming in. I'm going to start brewing right away. So I drove back to the brewery. It was 11 o'clock at night, and just started brewing this Keller beer. I was a Pilsner. I figured since it was German hops, it would do a German style beer.
Yeah.
And I have some pictures on. Where do I have these pictures? You ever see those?
Well, I think actually it's on the blog.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If I'm not
fresh
mistaken.
hops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just had I had a huge thing of wet hops left over.
Cool.
The hops flavor was kind of mellow in this beer though.
Didn't turn out like you wanted?
Well, the problem, the biggest problem I had with that beer was the yeast was a little old.
Ah.
So I had trouble getting the yeast going. So I think I stressed out the yeast a little, which was a shame because the beer was going to be really good.
Cool.
And I normally didn't have trouble with my beers.
No.
Okay. I don't know. I won't say no, but it's up to him.
Yeah.
It's his beer.
Okay.
But I did learn about smoking malt. I did smoke that malt, and it was a fun project for me.
Cool.
Kiesmeyer's really knowledgeable. And it was fun to work with a guy who, in Denmark, our brewery and his brewery were a nemesis. We did not, I was looking for a new job. Fano was trying to hire a brewer, and I was just desperate to get out of Gourmet Brewery. And I talked to the guy who was the director of Fano, and he said to Kiesmeyer that I was talking to Mike Murphy, and Kiesmeyer said, "Over my dead body." Because I'm associated with Gourmet Brewery, I'm associated with the company that took advantage of Lervig. So for people, it was a moment where I met a guy from Finland who owns a brewery. He came to my brewery to buy some beer and stuff, and he said, "Oh, lots of people, they say you're a bad guy, but I know you're a good guy." And I'm like, people in Finland say I'm a bad guy? What the hell? I live in Finland. You know? No. But there's people even here, I've met a few people here who are very vocal still about it, you know? So, I mean, they definitely don't have any of the facts. They just hear and believe what they want to believe. And it kind of opened my eyes about how that's how the world works, you know?
Yeah.
You know, people like to put their version of history in.
Of course.
And the popular opinion is becoming the fact, but it's not the fact, you know? So it's hard to defend yourself when people just don't want to believe you.
Yeah.
We're brewing a black IPA, and during the brew we had some trouble with the watering, so it was still black, but it turned a little more brown because we lost some of the volume. Had to add water because there was too much oats. I don't know. We had a problem with getting the watering done, so it wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be. But hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from him recently, so.
Will be on tap there, or?
He was supposed to send me some of them.
Okay. Any chance for a Cardinal?
Yeah, that was the plan, and Hendricks wanted it too.
Cool.
But it's only 400 liters of it wort were made, so I don't know exactly how much they're going to get out of it. And anyway, like I said, I'm going to brew a black IPA. It sounds like people want a black IPA in this country.
I do.
Yeah. But,
love that stuff.
Maybe I'll order the ingredients for that.
Cool.